Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Anonymous Sports Talk, where we talk anything and everything sports. So, in the Western Conference Finals, we now have the Golden State Warriors against the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, the Warriors made light work really of the Denver Nuggets in the first round, getting rid of MVP Nikola Jokic, who would have hoped to have had his partner in crime, Jamal Murray. And then after that, not so much light work really, but they did get past the Memphis Grizzlies, obviously with JA MORANT being injured. And I mean, it kind of felt like Desmond Bane was out as well. While on the other hand, the Dallas Mavericks, they got rid of Utah in the two best friends, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert in the first round, and the next round went on to get rid of Phoenix, led by Devin Booker and CP3. Now, looking at this series, there are a lot of key players for both teams really. Starting off with the Warriors, we're going to look at Steph Curry, who, for someone who is without doubt the best shooter the league's ever seen, he hasn't been shooting as well as you think he is, even in the first series where, I mean, to be fair, you excuse it in the first series where he went 50 from the field, 40 from the three, which again you excuse because he was coming back from injury, he was coming off the bench, averaging 28 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists a game. You take that. Clay, on the other hand, again, he actually shot decent, fairly well. 50 from the field, 45% from the three, averaging 22, 3 and 1. But Jordan Poole was the main guy really. He was averaging 21, 2 and 5 on 54 from the field, 48 from the three. And he was the revelation really in that first round. And then you had a little bit extra from Wiggins, 14, 6 and 1. Obviously Draymond, as some call him, Mr. Triple Single, 9, 5 and 7. But really Wiggins was the extra piece. Again, from the field, he was 52% and 53 from the three-point range. Moving on to the next round now. Obviously, they came up against the Grizzlies. Steph Curry, his point production went slightly lower, 26 points. However, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, which was decent. Again, KLAY THOMPSON as well, his points per game went lower, 18 points, 5 and 2. Jordan Poole, same really, because his minutes did go down and he was now coming off the bench after Steph Curry became the starting point guard for the Warriors. So Jordan Poole was giving you 17, 4 and 3. Wiggins actually went up really, and his numbers have been more or less stable. He was 15, 7 and 1. Now, all these numbers going down, mostly for the three main guys, your three main scorers, right? Steph, Clay, and Poole, were largely due to the better defense they were coming up against, which that's what they had against the Grizzlies. Not just the better defense, but a better team all in all. And that wasn't reflected not just in the points production going down, but also the percentages. Steph Curry went from 50% from the field and 40 from three to shooting 41% from the field and 32% from the three against the Grizzlies. Now, I mean, Steph Curry shooting 32%, that you just never think that would happen. And not just Steph, but even Clay. He went from 50 and 45 to 40 and 36. So you had both Steph and Clay shooting under 40% from the field. And it didn't just end there. You also had Jordan Poole, 31% from the three. Again, this is someone who was shooting 48% in the initial round. So coming up against a better defense meant all their numbers really went down. Coming up against a better team meant all their numbers really went down. I mean, even Andrew Wiggins, who was shooting 52% from the field and 53% from the three in the previous round, in this next round against the Grizzlies, he was shooting 46% from the field and 33% from the three. So again, to just make the point go through even stronger, all the numbers went down playing against a better team now. Now, we looked at Steph, Clay, and Poole. So, I mean, really you'd expect the three of them to get their points, to do their thing. So it kind of comes down to what are you going to get from Wiggins, what are you going to get from Draymond Green. Obviously, we know that Draymond Green is the heartbeat of this Warriors team. He's the leader, he's the guy who drives them. What's important is that they need Draymond Green to stay disciplined. No silly fouls, nothing, because again, if they target him and if he's out of the team, they lose an essential piece in terms of their defense. Wiggins as well, who's been a bit underrated in terms of his defense, actually been defending really well. But this is going to come down to what Draymond Green is going to give you. Maybe he won't give you so much in terms of points. He actually did really well in the last round with getting rebounds against a Grizzlies team with obviously Steven Adams coming in later. So if you can get you a ton of rebounds and again be that leader, be that driving force, be that player who gets the ball and runs it and drives it and assists and controls the traffic on offense, that's going to be very, very integral to your team. If he can give you that, you take it. Anything else is a bonus to do with Draymond Green. He's not the shooter he once was, so he won't go crazy from the three. He's more of a layup guy nowadays. However, still the heartbeat, still one of the leaders of this Warriors team. In addition to that, you have Andrew Wiggins, who, like I mentioned before, a bit of an unsung hero. I think what he's done this season has been really, really good. Obviously, he was an all-star. He played much better before than after. However, he's still an important piece of this Warriors team. He's still someone you look at and you think he can give you timely threes and he can give you really, really good stops on defense. So if Andrew Wiggins stands up and Andrew Wiggins gives you a bit more of what led him to become an all-star, you're in a really, really good position. Now, So basically, Wiggins could end up being the key on both offense and defense. Like I mentioned earlier, if he can be a lot more consistent with his threes and a lot more timely with his threes, he can end up being a big player in terms of defending as well. Because if Draymond loses his head and Draymond is kicked out of the game, we've seen it happen before. Wiggins could be the guy they go to. He could be the guy they look for to guard Luka and to do some damage on Luka, to slow Luka down. And if not Wiggins, then this where the rookie, Jonathan Kuminga, becomes very, very important to them. This could be his big moment. Got fewer moments than he would like in the first game, but as the series progressed with Gary Payton III being out injured, Kuminga's really come up big for them, and this could be his chance to show what he's about. Now, I mentioned Luka. Speaking of Luka, on the other hand, the player against the Mavericks and the player against, arguably, not even arguably, I think the best player remaining in this playoff series, Luka Magic. What this guy has been doing, what this guy has been doing some of the best defenses in the world. From Kawhi Leonard and Paul George in the last round, it was almost irrelevant who's guarding Luka. He's gonna do his thing, he's gonna get his points. Even in this series against Mikal Bridges, who was one of the guys who was in line for Defensive Player of the Year. I think ultimately he finished second in the voting for Defensive Player of the Year, but all that was really irrelevant to a guy like Luka, because Luka did what Luka did, and he got what he does. Now, for the Dallas Mavericks going to the first round, obviously Luka had the issue with the injury coming out. So he ended up missing the first few games against Utah in the first round. Now, this was actually kind of like a blessing in disguise, because Luka being absent meant we get to see what Brunson especially looks like without Luka in this game. And what Brunson did in that first round against Jazz, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists in that first round. That was brilliant. Obviously, Luka came back later on, and again, Luka just did what Luka does. It was 29, 10, and 5 in that first series, which was, again, for someone who's coming back from an injury, that's just crazy. But again, it's just Luka being Luka. And if you look at the averages for some of the other players, Spencer Dinwiddie, who I think has been slightly disappointing this playoffs compared to what he did in the regular season. He came into that first round against Utah, where he had 15, 3, and 3, which again, you'd expect a bit more. But if you're coming off the bench and you're giving 15 points to your team, you take that. There's no issue with that. You take that from Dinwiddie. Now, moving on to the next round, again, they faced the number 1 seed. They faced arguably the best team over the past 2 NBA seasons, the PHEONIX Suns, who were desperate to get back to the NBA Finals, to basically atone for what happened last season in the loss to the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis. And so for them, this was really about redemption, about going through to the next round and going to that NBA Finals. But they came up against a Dallas team that, again, they were underestimated. No one gave them a chance. But what Dallas did to them, especially in a Game 7 away on the road to Phoenix, again, Luka just did Luka things, because he went from averaging 29, 10, and 5 in the first round to 32, 9, which was, it was 9.9, which is basically 10, 32, 10, and 7. So his numbers came up. In terms of what he shot from the field, Luka was 47% from the field, 36% from the 3 in the first round against Utah. Second round, he was 47% from the field, maintained that, and 33% from the 3. So again, slight drop in terms of his 3-point percentage, but really he's in and around what he gives you in terms of efficiency. If you look at Brunson, I think Brunson, you would say, suffered a bit more by Luka coming back, because he went from 24, 4, and 8 in the first round on 48% shooting from the field, 36% from the 3, to averaging about 18.7 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, and about 3 assists per game in this next series against Phoenix. And in terms of what he shot from the field, he went from 48% from the field in the first round to 44% in the second round, 36% from 3 in the first round to 25% from 3 in the second round. So his numbers really, really dropped. If you look at Dinwiddie, he went from 15, 3, and 3 in the first round to 11, 2.4, and 3 in the second round. So again, his numbers dropped massively. In terms of what he shot from the field, he was 36 and 29. So in the first round, 36% from the field and 29% from the 3. And then the second round, he was 45% from the field and 51% from the 3. So his numbers actually went up massively, although that was a bit inflated with what he did in the Game 7 against the Phoenix Suns, where, he came up and he gave you 30 points. Now, if he can give you 30 points, definitely take it. You more than take it. For Dino to give you 30 points, that's an absolute bonus. For someone who you think coming off the bench would give about 15. So yeah, you take it. So looking at this series going forward, it's going to be really interesting to see in terms of, I think it's going to be a big thing about the role players. Who's going to give you that bonus? Because on the Mavs side, you're looking at Finney Smith, you're looking at Reggie Bullock. What are going to give you? Maybe Maxi Kleber every now and then if he gets hot from the 3. But really, Finney Smith and Bullock, can they do on the road what we've seen them do at home? Remember that Game 6 against Phoenix, when Finney Smith just went crazy from the 3. Can he give you something similar against this Warriors team at home and on the road on a more consistent basis? I think I would trust the role players over at Golden State a bit more. Iguodala is always going to be a miss. Gary Payton as well being out is going to be a miss. But I just look at what you're going to get. The movement on offense, they're going to be difficult to keep up with. It's going to be tough for Luka, but I think they're going to target him on defense as much as he's improved his defending. He's going to have to do a lot of running, going after Steph, after Clay, maybe Draymond, Wiggins as well, Jordan Poole. So ultimately, I think I give the Warriors the edge, the experience as well. They've been in this position many times. This is the Mavericks' first run at this moment. So I think I'm going to give the Warriors the slight edge on this. It's going to be interesting as well in the battle of the coaches, Jason Kidd versus Steve Kerr. I mean, Steve Kerr's record speaks for itself, multiple-time champion. Jason Kidd has done a brilliant job since he came into this Dallas Mavericks team. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the two coaches and how they approach this, and the battle they are going to have is going to be fascinating to watch. But I think ultimately I give the Warriors just the edge because of the experience. I think I'm leaning towards Warriors in 6 maybe. The last thing they want is for this to go to a game 7, because if you give Luka the chance to eliminate you, he's going to take it. Like we saw what he did to Phoenix in that game 6, in that game 7. He came up and he showed up. So it's going to be a big, big problem if you don't take care of him early. So those are my thoughts really on the Warriors vs Mavs series. I give the Warriors the slight edge, like I mentioned, to get it done in game 6. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What are your thoughts about my thoughts on the game between the Warriors and the Mavs. I'm going to be reviewing the rest of the NBA games up until a champion is crowned. The other series in the East, of course, of the Celtics vs the Heat. I'll be reviewing that as time goes on. And moving forward on this channel, we're going to be reviewing all sorts of sports, really, not just basketball. Obviously, we're going to be doing basketball, football, Formula 1, UFC, boxing, all sorts of sports. We're going to talk about it. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video, my thoughts about this series, your thoughts about this series, how we can improve this channel, what should I change, what should I improve on. I'm open to everything. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate the like, and please turn on your notifications to know when more videos are coming out. There's a football video coming out soon about the Premier League and how it's going to end. But yeah, I really appreciated you guys. Thank you so much. Once again, please subscribe. Thank you very much. And